0-0 Nation, and now only one of them can move forward as we go into the first draft.
This is truly the biggest game of the day. We saved it for last. Two absolute titans squaring off, trying to earn their way into day two. And if they make it there, you can say that either of these teams could win the whole thing. No real surprises there. Both teams says Inteleon, not today.
Oh, this is great because these teams, they do have a somewhat similar style in my mind, and they both went for the same exact band. We've only seen the same band twice so far today, and this is, I think, actually the second time. So we're going to see the Lapras first pick, very, very common. On the other side, but I expect to see the Slowbro, but on A9, that's pretty big.
Plucking the Slowbro out from the hands of Megu is incredibly important. Of course, they grabbed Lapras, but they have an opportunity to go top path with them and getting another defender if it rolled through. Zervis on the Hoopa, amazing. Umbreon, another great defender choice. So still going with the double defender loadout for TALIBOBO believers.
Yeah, you can only take away so many defenders.
Exactly.
It looks like we might actually be going double defender on both sides. No, okay. There's, you said that I keep getting trolled by them hovering over Pokemon. It's still happening. We're this far into the day and it's still happening. But, I mean, Leafeon, that has been banned a lot as well today, and has been doing really, really well, or not so well, but mostly really, really well, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's really been about the Solar Blade, too. That thing has looked good. Lel locking in the Blissey, of course, and we've got the Zacian hover. I saw this Zacian played against Iclan a little early on one of the side stages, and it looked mean.
Ooh, this looks like a mean team in general. I mean, this is going to be a lot of sustain on the side of TALIBOBO believers. Here's what the final pick's going to be. Oh, is there a chance we see the Goodra, or am I getting trolled one more time? Not this time. The Goodra is coming out from 0-0 Nation.
Gonna try to turn the Pokemon World stage into the Nickelodeon stage and just put goo all over the place. People getting slimed out here. Foul blocking that thing in. We've got 38 seconds until these two teams square off. Chef, give me your final thoughts based on what these two teams have chosen.
I think both these teams look super strong. I think I would be a little bit more scared of the side of TALIBOBO believers. They've got everything that they want. They've got the sustain. They've got the Mew on Utah in the back. A beautiful amount of damage that can do, but I want to see what the Goodra can do for these wild and crazy kids.
Well, 00 Nation has got themselves a baby Mazo and a crop of characters that support them endlessly. But to get this game going, we need to bring those casters in. We got Kella, we got Zoinks, and you got you and I kicking rocks. Take it away.
Thank you so much, you two. Yeah, a very interesting draft to start off one of the most interesting games that we have had. Shout out to the crowd, by the way. We're burning the midnight oil right now, and they are still out in droves cheering on these two teams. How could you not? These teams are so popular. TALIBOBO believers in 0-0 Nation.
They are so popular indeed. We absolutely love to see the support from these fans. They are not only hyping them up, but you know what, Zoinks? I'm feeling hyped. I'm feeling hyped.
I feel the energy as well. Kella, we get the chance to cast a headline match, a closing match of the day. And like Chef said in that intro, we are going to find out what our final team is making it into day two. As we kick things off, as TALIBOBO believers bring Toons Umbreon into the bottom path to start off.
Yes, they are kicking things off indeed, but who is going to get that home run for this first match? We can see the Zacian and Hoopa going into that central area. Otherwise, Leafeon has been left alone to get these buffs by themselves.
Yeah, Mazo playing the central area in this game. We might actually see them swap between different roles as they play around with Bulb's top path as well. There's a lot of flexibility, but the same can be said for TALIBOBO believers. Utah and Toon having such deep pockets in terms of Pokemon selection can play so many different options. I think that's showcased already with Toon on this Umbreon defender pick.
Yes, the flexibility really comes intact here, but thankfully that Aeos Energy Dunk does mean we have a Slowbro online. This bottom path right now is formidable.
Oh yeah, Asoto, one of the best defenders in the entire world. I've honestly talked so much on tape about how good this player is, and when they are playing a Pokemon like Slowbro has so much impact, I'm looking forward to seeing that happen. They are running the Surf Throw as well, so a lot of crowd control availability for them. as they try to push away these dive Pokemon from TALIBOBO believers. They don't want Klaus to get anywhere near their backline.
No, not at all. They definitely want to get in that crowd control, as you mentioned, and allow that Solar Blade to possibly chunk out that damage, finish him off. Otherwise, we do have a little bit of a brawl up in that top half. Blissey ends up getting taken down to the Lapras.
Wow, okay, fantastic work there. My apologies, by the way, Toon Slim playing this Lapras from what I can see here. Tough to see the next from this point. Goodra trying to defend this goal zone, or Sliggoo at this point in time. However, the Leafeon has entered the fray, and Baby Mazo gets a huge knockout on this speedster. What a flank, and oh my word, that burst damage is crazy from the Leafeon.
Oh, it is crazy indeed, and I think we are going to see much more of it. But the Solar Beam trying to take that last Ulterior there. Looking at the stats right now, it is quite even.
Yeah, extremely so. Megu on this Umbreon holding down this bottom path. Klaus trying to go through another clear of their central area, but there we go. Lel and Baby Mazo able to put together a knockout there in the top half. Toon, however, has joined the fray yet again, and Klaus is looking to shut down the Sliggoo, but the healing from the Blissey in combination with the Goodra passive is just too much for them to find the KO.
It's too much, and it hasn't even reached that full evolution yet.
Oh my word. I mean, the damage numbers of TALIBOBO believers are going to need to be astronomical to find some big knockouts. The problem is, though, they do have service on that Hoopa, which is going to be supporting their own team, getting a lot of resets, and of course, the damage numbers are going to be just as big for 0-0 Nation to close out these KOs.
All right, the first basement Reggie is about to spawn. It ends up being a Reggie Rock, but as it spawns, we do have the Avalanche and Blizzard combo coming out from Baby Mazo here.
Yeah, it forces out an early reset portal from Zervis. It brings back the whole team. However, they have to play so defensively and far away from 0-0 Nation, who has earned their place around this Regirock with some early damage. Megu gets in the fray, though, tries to hold down one, as Slowbro gets a big engage there as well. Megu really trying to 1v3 in the situation, and they get knocked out before they can Hoopa reset. Regirock is KO'd by Lel on the Blissey, and 0-0 Nation takes the first objective of the game.
The first objective and many more to come. We have the Zacian grabbing both of those berries, making sure to just regenerate that HP pool. Once again, these Solar Beams are so menacing.
I can't believe that boosted auto attack from you didn't get the KO onto Alola Ninetales. Honestly, I think the Regirock defense buff being relevant in that situation. Yutao, however, will take the alternative prize of knocking out Soto on that Slowbro, and now the objective of the Regieleki is on the field. Neither team showing too much attention to it at the start of this, though.
No, and that's the thing. You still have those tier 1 pads up, so you do have that buffer. The Zacian, though, they are shredding and hacking at this Regieleki, securing that for TALIBOBO believers. It has been captured.
Yeah, great capture there. It's going to be pushing towards it, but honestly, just dealing a little bit of early damage and vision for the side of TALIBOBO believers. Klaus is looking for a little bit more, though. Acid Spray Goodra, by the way, for Volp here. So they're playing a very get-up-in-your-face style of Goodra, trying to, use that mobility option from the Acid Spray to charge into their enemies.
I feel like it's not only the Goodra, this team composition is just really up in your face.
Exactly, and you can even see already Mazo getting the Bliss assistance. Is good for 1 KO, but that is a pretty tame team fight in terms of these two squads. Regieleki doesn't make it. We see 1 team fight, or 1 KO go the other direction, but now a goal zone siege has started for 0-0 Nation. They got the burst damage, good spacing by Yutao to not get hit by that Solar Blade, but again, the chase is just not there. They don't have the firepower at this point in the game.
They don't have the firepower, but can I just say that kiting to dodge and weave those Solar Beams coming out from 0-0 Nation, they did not get chipped on out. They are making their way down the bottom, considering they have to use their legs in comparison to the hyperspace boss.
Yeah, exactly. We are seeing some of the best mechanical skill in the entire world in this matchup. 0-0 Nation and TALIBOBO believers absolutely packed and with star-studded talent. Service is caught up by that slow beam, though, but does not get KO'd. Ninja Doll going to keep them up for a moment and actually gets their Unite move off. That is huge. Mazo is brought down by Megu's Umbreon, and now Regirock is brought down to about half HP. Salto also knocked out as Klaus is absolutely going wild on this Zacian. Salto, the last member here of 0-0 Nation, looking for the secure, and they get it. 0-0 Nation finds a way to knock out that basement Reggie. However, TALIBOBO believers getting a lot of chaos the other direction, but is it worth it? I don't know. A defense buff on this team?
3-minute 50 mark, 34 to 30. This is such a close game. We do have the Mystical Mirage coming out from the Mew. It does end up getting frozen down before it is able to whip out that Solar Beam. Look at this, 1 HP ends up making it back to that tier 2 pad, get some healing. 0-0 Nation do not want to push on forward.
Yeah, and how would you, right? This has been such a close game so far, but you get a big goal zone break. Finally, you've earned yourself an advantage. You don't want to waste that by giving free knockouts over to the side of TALIBOBO Believers. Good macro presence from 0-0 Nation so far. They've got 2 objectives so far in this matchup, and I think that is really what is keeping them ahead in this game so far. 120 to 30, there still is a pretty decent-sized gap, but it's not immense. Rayquaza or a final team fight could definitely shift things quickly.
Oh, definitely shift things quickly considering all the matches we have seen today. But who is going to take down that home run? As we said, we do have Lapras going and uniting a red buff here. Leafeon just circling around, hoping to get the last hit. Once again, we see a Zacian that is on objective duty.
Yeah, I mean, taking away the Leafeon's attention will mean you have one less last hit secure to worry about. Solar Beam goes for it, but no! Gudra gets it! 0-0 Nation untouchable in these objective competitions as the Acid Spray Gudra secures the Regieleki and sets this gold zone up at 44. One score brings it down to 11 and a 50-point overdunk. Absolutely huge for 0-0 Nation as their score lead skyrockets here in game number 1.
It skyrockets indeed, but you know what? We still have 15 seconds left until this Rayquaza fight, and we know that things can be flipped on over or, reverse card.
Yeah, well, Toon is in a very interesting position here, playing this Brawler Defender from the top path. However, they have to try to farm up their Unite move. They had used it in such a late scenario in that enemy central area, so they got to really take it slow, and instead are actually going to push for a bit of a back cap in this scenario. They are not worried about the rip from 0-0 Nation. Not a lot of Pokemon can bring down that Rayquaza HP too quickly.
No, they do not have that shred power there. It's all about the defense, though. We do have the Zacian going in with their Sacred Sword to just try and bait out these team members. But interestingly enough, that Lapras is still nowhere to be seen at all.
Yeah, it's trying to take that 1v1 against another defender in the top path, but this major fight is the main focus. Service drops to Oops on bound. Felicity almost knocked out. Blitz Assistance doesn't make it to Soto because of a mean look from Megu. Absolutely incredible mean look there to get that shutdown. Klaus is held by the slow beam, but the rest of the team is trying to fight Megu that's in their backline. TALIBOBO Believers with an incredible team fight so far. A Hoopa reset from Service is perfectly placed, and Falv is trying to turn this game around. They get one knockout. The Gudra starting to go to work. However, the rest of TALIBOBO Believers have turned their attention towards the Rayquaza. They haven't been able to secure an objective so far, but could this be the one where they turn things around?
I don't know. There is a Blissey Egg Bomb possibly lurking here. Who's going to get the hit? Secure the Blissey. Bliss Assistance was a tad too late, and it ends up going to the side of TALIBOBO Believers.
TALIBOBO Believers getting the biggest objective of the game, but none leading up to that point. But now they need to make sure these scores happen. They just earned themselves a slight lead, and the crowd already popping off for TALIBOBO Believers as they are holding on to just a 7-point lead in this situation. Clustering in 58 is definitely going to be helping them with their final moments. Falv going in this 1v1 against Utah, but so far the Mew coming away with the victory in this situation. TALIBOBO Believers with an incredible team fight in those final moments and a great secure onto the Rayquaza are going to hold on to the lead, and EU's hopes of making day 2 are still alive.
Yes, they are still alive indeed. As we look at this score wrap-up here, they obviously skyrocketed at the end there, being able to secure themselves those Rayquaza shields.
Amazing work, but we got to break down this next one with the analysts. Take it away, Spraggles and Wondership.
Wow, that match, it delivered. It delivered. That's what we wanted to see from these two teams.
Well, as the newly minted Spraggles, they absolutely delivered without a doubt. TALIBOBO finding their way through that final team fight. And up until that point, 0-0 Nation was taking every objective under the sun, counter-punching very well, getting some quality KOs. TALIBOBO Believers needed a couple good moments, and I think they found them off the back of their captain, Zervis with that Shedinja Doll Unite move back
Yes,
through. That
yes.
was sick. And then in that final team fight, the Hoopa getting the first KO to kick off that stream of just success. And a big team win to take that W.
Agreed on all points, Spriggles. Thank you so much. I do agree, though. The Shedinja Doll was the play of the game for me. That was so cool. We don't really see it on that Pokemon as much, but we can look at the damage here. And honestly, a brawl of a game. Pretty high damage from all sides. Above 50k for almost everybody in the game who really does do damage. And even the people who don't do as much damage were pretty high up there.
Yeah, I'm highlighting Lel here. 93k heals, and they were all over the place, keeping this team up. And the real reason they were able to get a lot of those objectives in the front and mid parts of that game.
May I note, too, like 1 millisecond away from actually stealing that Rayquaza with the Bliss assistance. I think Kello actually thought that was what would happen, because me too. We were both looking like, oh my gosh, because that looked like that hit was dead on. It just didn't quite make it actually happen. So yeah, great stuff from the Blissey play for sure.
Well, we talked about how great that service play was on the Hoopa right there, but if you recall, Double O Nation took that objective, a couple good KOs, and then went up straight up and took that Regieleki. But this is the big prize you want in the middle, this Rayquaza, and it was all TALIBOBO in this team fight.
It was. This was like their only really good team fight, but that's kind of all you need when you win a team fight that solidly, right? Again, they had enough of a point deficit that if they didn't almost basically full team wipe without any losses, and here's Bliss's, by the way, I thought that was it. That looked exactly like it. But if you didn't actually just full team wipe here, it still wasn't the win.
Valve trying to make it happen there with the Goodra. Terrific sustain, was able to 1v1 for a long time, but couldn't quite get those final points that they needed. And it wasn't a big margin separating those two teams, but you got yourself a blue-haired player of the game.
Yeah, you know, the Umbreon, may I note the other thing that was pointed out by Zoinks, the mean look stopping the Bliss assistance, that's wild. That is a wild thing to happen. As you know, Bliss assistance can be one of the most impactful Unite moves in the entire game. So that was what started off, I think, that entire kind of winning situation for them.
Yeah, great call, great call. We're going into our draft here shortly, and you can see these teams as you look across the board. They're all chatting it up, trying to figure out what their next move is going to be, what the next strategy is going to be as we enter ban phase, and it's pretty clear to me that TALIBOBO does not want themselves a Lapras on the map.
And on the other side, the Leafeon, no longer an option. But are we going to first pick? Honestly, there's a lot of options. Okay, we are going to go for the Inteleon. That is such a popular pick today. If it's not the Lapras, which obviously can't be the Lapras, the Inteleon's going to be there. Is Umbreon going to get picked very early? Of course, Mego on that Umbreon was so good. And, well, actually, they could have gone for the Hoopa, but instead they're going to be picking up the Alolan Ninetales.
Yeah, and they're going to look for this opportunity here. We've got another great pick in Slowbro. Salto able to take objectives with that Pokemon. Screened very well for the team. They had a lot of good convincing team fights in that game one. Lel back on the Blissey, and they're going for comfort here. It worked for the majority of game one. Let's just make it bell to bell here in game two.
Yeah, these are just great kind of meta picks on both sides. I don't feel like there's any super kind of counterplay as far as both of these teams, and the flexibility of both these teams is huge, right? Like, even if you do try to counter one of their particular players, like maybe you steal something because you can play it instead, but if you're really trying to hard counter, they just have so many things they can flex to.
Yeah, and we're really going down the same path as game one. We see, again, the Zacian, and Zervis has to be happy with a fourth pick Hoopa in this position. We saw how well they played in game one, a Pokemon that they've used all UCS Season 2, and glad to have it in their hands when it matters here in this game 2.
Well, this is one big change. The Gardevoir and the Delphox on the other side. Utah Delphox. That has been, throughout this season, a very deadly pick. I'm excited to see it. I feel like we haven't maybe even seen Delphox on broadcast today.
We have seen it once, that being said, but not what I want to highlight here is the change in the ranges here. Gardevoir and Delphox are the two major changes in this game, and they're going to leverage this into a win. That's the goal, right? We're going to see who's correct. Is it Double O Nation or is it TALIBOBO Believers with these ranged special attackers? Yeah, that's really kind of their big main choices that they've made since they basically got everything that they wanted and everything they got before. So it's going to be a Wolf on that Gardevoir or Utah on that Delphox. One of these two is going to work out more in their favor. TALIBOBO Believer needs one more game. Double Nation needs two. We'll send it over to the casters to see which of those two it is.
Here we go. TALIBOBO believers on match point in this game. And then, of course, we have 0-0 Nation trying to put themselves in a day 2 scenario. I hate to bring up old battles, but 0-0 Nation has been in this position before last year, not making day 2 out of groups. And now in this time, they're going to have a tough time getting there. Kello, that draft was really interesting, particularly 0-0 Nation picking Blissey into Umbreon. That's a lot of confidence.
It is a lot of confidence, but I am really excited to see this Delphox go up against that Gardevoir. Both of the Unite moves being that AoE damage, it's just going to see who is more impactful. Otherwise, we do have a Sobble being sent into that central area, making sure that it gets online and get that level 5 ASAP.
Interesting. We never really see this. Normally, we always see the Ralts be the central area Pokemon to start things off, but they're not too worried about that scenario. And of course, the enemy central area is something to keep in mind with these rotation decisions. A Braxton at that level 5, not that big of a threat. Utah is really going to need to hit that level 6 and forward to be a relevant threat.
You know who is a big threat right now? Zervis on the Hooper, going in for an invade and just zoning out Marzo here and just wasting some time. We still have a Sobble on the map and hasn't been able to evolve yet.
This is a very ambitious clear, right? Sobble's Water Gun is one of the best last hit secures in the entire game. Hoopa gonna have a tough time out securing even that situation. So instead, Zervis just has to play a bit more aggressively to try to find the knockouts. But the help has come here from Foul, who's getting so many slowing effects, and that is going to result in a knockout onto Zervis. Malzo gonna secure this red buff. However, look at this, Utah way ahead on the rotation, and Klaus and Utah are going to take all of that experience.
They are going to take all that experience and deny these evolutions. We still have a Chansey along with a Gumi on the side of 0-0 Nation. Thankfully, the back Voltoy there is able to evolve them.
Oh, poor Wolf just caught in this mean look and only at level 4. Poor Wolf's not having a lot of great defensive tools. Of course, he can't even teleport outside of that mean look. He can't even eject button out of it. So a great shutdown tool early as Megu has employed it so well in our game number 1. Pretty low scoring game though, not a lot of stacking going in for either side. Even Klaus on this station just not having as many scoring opportunities already early.
Well, as we are talking about putting on those pushes, we do have the Alolan Ninetales and Umbreon trying to put that pressure, but we're talking about the mean look there to just lock it down. It's not only to catch on out, but it's also used as an escape mechanism.
Wow, and here we go. Megu actually going to go down to Salto. Salto going to win that defender 1v1, and Wolf wants the chase down onto Toon. They're going to knock out Alolan Ninetales, and all of a sudden, this Corellia is going to be on the fast track towards that evolution to Gardevoir.
They want to fast track their way to the end of this game and possibly take it to a Game 3 situation. We can hear the crowd go wild, circling around. Indeed, he has spawned. We have that Curlia that wants to get that level 8 evolution.
Absolutely. Not getting that Unite move until level 9, but that evolution for those stats is absolutely pivotal. Klaus getting a lot of damage with that Sacred Sword, and Fel still on this Lagoo doesn't have quite the impact they were having last game so far. I mean, early game pretty tough for a 3-stage evolution Pokemon, no matter what. But here we go. First basement Reggie of the game. A lot of focus shown from TALIBOBO believers. Only Utah going to be late to the situation outside of course, the top half players.
Yes, it is a Reg here. We have the Blizzard along with the Avalanche combo there to just provide some stuns and some hits. A reset on the side of TALIBOBO believers. We have Umbreon diving on and deep, trying to mean look this Inteleon, and A9 Toonslim gets the secure, and now we have the Delphox with the Unite move and the KO.
Finally, we found the go button for TALIBOBO believers' aggression as they charge towards this goal zone. Salto caught out. Their range isn't long enough when they're stuck in that mean look to stop some of these scores. As here we go, TALIBOBO believers looking for this big overcap. That's a 39-point overdunk in this first push for TALIBOBO believers. What a good score. They have a huge lead now.
Look, it was slow to begin with, but I think both of these teams are starting to pick up the momentum as these brawls are just happening left, right, and center. Once again, popping down that portal, looking to give that Zacian that opportunity to go back and heal, not needed, but making sure to just secure these wild Bunnelbees on the side and get that experience.
Wild to see that despite fight is going so well for Tally already. However, they don't even have the Zation really involved in these team fights quite yet. They've been giving so much room to Klaus to just level up and get strong in this top half individually. But Toonslim and Megu in a bottom half push, just found 2 KOs, by the way, are going to put even more scores on the table. As Valve is trying to 1v3 or 2v3 in this situation. And Tally on Unite move from Baby Mazo as they are charging forward with a lot of critical hits, but they're kind of forced to frontline in this specific scenario. And Utah is poking in a whole lot of damage.
They are poking in a whole lot of damage, and Talia gets knocked out along with the Blissey as well. Gudra might be next. Yes, we have the schmoving coming on out from Utah right now. Ow, ow, ow.
The movement looking clean on our Delphox so far. And I mean, 0-0 Nation taking that team fight in a very interesting way. I mean, Mazo really wanted to get a value out of their Unite move. However, it feels like they flew a little too close to the sun as Regieleki is going to land, and even more scores are going to rain in for TALIBOBO believers.
TALIBOBO believers, they are shining bright like the sun right now. They have broken that top tier 1, but offer a trade of a Delphox. That is a level 12. That is huge comeback experience.
It gave Mazo 11. That is a really important level for Intel, getting one of their plus moves there. However, the rotation towards this basement Reggie is going to be pretty solid for TALIBOBO believers. Of course, having access to both of their tier 1 goal zones means Service's impact on this Fupa is going to be fantastic so far. Val has to use that Unite move. The Gudra singing a little tune as they charge in towards Megu, but still, it's not enough as they can't find the damage to close out that KO, and instead 0-0 Nation has to back off and give a little bit of space over to TALIBOBO believers.
Yes, but space that they do not want to give up, especially because Reggie still is already at half HP, and it ends up being the Alolan Ninetale that locks it down for TALIBOBO believers. But you know what? They are not finished brawling right now. Gudra, their front line has been taken down.
There are some games. Oh wow, the Gardevoir Unite move on top of the Hoopa reset portal. However, it doesn't even get Toonslim. They're able to escape. Unbelievable from TALIBOBO believers. Megu does go down. Masa was able to find a liquidation knockout, but I mean, that feels like a pretty rough consolation prize when they were teed up there with a huge Unite move.
Batter up, folks, because this game, obviously, TALIBOBO believers, they are up 252, but 54, we know there is still those comeback mechanics.
Absolutely. I mean, Mazo on this Inteleon has looked pretty solid so far, a lot of good damage. However, they've been getting knocked out when they're pushing a little bit too far forward. They gotta rely on this Gudra front line, and we need to see Foul be a little more aggressive on this positioning, I think, on the Gudra to really have an impact. It's so tough, though, when you're getting poked out by the Delphox and getting so much damage done to you by the Zation. I mean, right now, 0-0 Nation draft-wise have been put into a very tough spot.
They have been put in a tough spot, and this is their last chance right now. Regieleki being locked on to the side of TALIBOBO believers. That is going to apply some pressure on 0-0 Nation right now and just bide some time.
0-0 Nation in the same position as last year. This is their chance to make it to the top 8 bracket and avoid a situation where they are knocked out in groups again. However, they are going up against some of the best in the world in TALIBOBO believers, and they are proving it again. This slowing effect of Alolan Ninetales and capped off with the mean look from Megu is such a terrifying combo. I mean, TALIBOBO believers has been playing it picture perfect in these early game fights.
It's terrifying. It's disgusting. But we do have less than 10 seconds left to go until the final stretch. A 0-0 Nation able to overcome this great feat that TALIBOBO believers is providing right now as they are getting their positioning ready.
A gigantic lead for them. We're going to have Utah play defense around that top goal zone with the Delphox. However, they are kind of working hand in hand with Klaus's Zacian to try to be a defensive but also offensive threat. If they found someone hiding in that tall grass, the combo between those two Pokemon might be too much for the side of 0-0 Nation to deal with. TALIBOBO believers trying to push for a little bit of a split push, and Felb is caught up with the mean look. That advance is going to be shut down there. However, 0-0 Nation getting a lot of space. Klaus find their way towards the back line, though. They're knocked out!
Yes, the slow beam from the slow break. This is why you do not want to come against this defender. The serve coming in, knocking up that Alolan Ninetales, and 3 members of TALIBOBO believers are down right now.
I think Klaus thought they had a free flank. However, that was not the case at all. Unite move from Utah, though, is doing a lot of damage. When the Rayquaza is knocked out by 0-0 Nation, Wolf is able to secure that one on the Gardevoir. Absolutely huge play from them as multiple members from TALIBOBO believers are knocked out. And finally, 0-0 Nation is climbing towards parity with these goals.
smart move there, giving the Blissey the ability to dunk in that score as it didn't have those scoring shields. Inteleon getting in another hundo dunk, and that is 360 to 252 points. Only 30 seconds left on the clock, but you know what? Slowbro just widening that gap even further, getting in another 100 points.
This is why we save these games for the final match of the day. 0-0 Nation, TALIBOBO Believers delivering in the best way possible. A final secure from the Gardevoir has made Brazil versus EU. Only one of these regions can make it into the top 8, and we are looking at a tie game, 1-1 between 0-0 Nation and TALIBOBO Believers.
Oh my goodness, they are delivering the goods, and might I say it is delicious. I feel like this Square Coco is feasting right now.
Absolutely. What a game we have been gifted, a game 3. I cannot wait, but we gotta take a second look at that game number 2 with our analysts, Dupes next, and Wonder Chef, can you please take it away?
Another game 3, Chef. Why not?
Why not? We're this far in. Let's just go all the way.
Why not? Holy. It's literally a carbon copy of game 1, just the teams are switched, right?
Yep.
Just the breaks getting beat off you all game long, but you take a convincing and very strategic and meticulous team win, and all of a sudden you find yourself with another W, and we find ourselves with our 438th game 3.
Yeah, I think it's literally been all but maybe 2 matches on broadcast, but I want somebody to take a screenshot of this and actually overlay it with the first game of the set, please. I think it's actually the same graph. But let's take a look at the damage. That one certainly is going to be different this time around. Oh my gosh, the full team damage of, honestly, Team TALIBOBO that didn't even win is ridiculous.
I know, they really one-upped on all axis across the board. Lel, of course, saying, oh, you like 90K, how about 109K here? Let's take a look how this game 2 went, Chef.
Oh, let's. So much of it, honestly, what this early game lead was this Alolan Ninetales. There were so many good opportunities, especially for the fights for these Basement Regis, to get these huge initiation opportunities. I think at this point, we see like a double KO against the wall. That was a beautiful moment.
Yeah, pinning them down 0-0 Nation against the wall and getting the KOs, which is exactly what they were trying to leverage there. You see the scoreline here. I mean, there's a 200-point differential. Come on. Quick little reset. Services doing their job. And the siege that they tried to put on is stopped with just 1 KO rolling back the other way as we dwindle down to that final stretch.
Yeah, this was looking like it was over. And then very quickly, it was over in the other direction. Look at this team fight. That initiation, it was just a little bit too split up on the side of TALIBOBO Believers. They ended up having to fight this 3v5 on their back foot, literally trying to run away, and they just weren't able to recover from that moment. The double engage from the top and the bottom, while it can be a smart, cool little flank thing, it just clearly wasn't the move in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, exactly there. You had, as soon as that engagement happened, Lel used their Unite move on top of Mazo. They were able to peel back. The slow beam came out. The Gardevoir Wolf closed the door. And what a look here. Let's take a look at those. They're not so different. They're not so different, but we got a game ready to go, Chef. You weren't too far off. Those things can't be kind of superimposed on top of each other. Game 3, we're about to go into the draft screen, Chef. What do you want to see now that we've just brought this thing down to the final game of the day, in the final match of the day, to lock in our final team for day 2?
I want to see which of these teams qualifies. Whatever the picks may be, honestly, we're going to see the Slowbro actually coming out as a ban. I want to see more Goodra. That's my hard call out. I think the Goodra has been doing amazingly, and 0-0 Nation, especially in that first game, had a really strong showing with the Goodra. Despite the fact they didn't actually win, it feels like the teams that won did a great job. I'm sorry, the teams that lost did a great job.
Well, I'm crying in Mamoswine, that Pokemon that you wanted to see.
I know, I've given up.
And just flip the script on that. Megu locking in, of course, a quality Pokemon in Lapras, and Teleon taken out of the equation completely. And hovering shortly, a Delphox locking in the A9 and the Leafeon, which both Pokemon, as the day has progressed, have looked better and better. I
love this. They're just stealing away the A9. I mentioned it before, Alolan Ninetales never banned, but maybe the most frequently stolen away Pokemon in the entire game.
Yeah, absolutely. Xerpes, again, being just drawn to that Hoopa and the Umbreon as well. 2 quality picks for TALIBOBO Believers. And I'll tell you what, if you're going to leave these Pokemon on the block for them to be picked up, they're going to pick them.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they have been giving away that Hoopa every single time. That is just a strong pick, but an interesting defender pick on the other side. We're going to see the Trevenant. Of course, we saw that really strong from especially some of the Japanese teams, but Trevenant is still, no matter how far I go down in the defender role, it's going to be strong.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think it's easy to give up Hoopa when Lel has been playing so insane on this Blissey. Yeah. I mean, every Bliss assist has been bang on. They leverage it even when it's a desperation attempt to try and take Ray, and their heals are out of control. Mew and Urshifu in the hands of TALIBOBO believers are both machines, and we've seen it all year long.
Yeah, I still feel like both of these comps are just really comfortable comps for both these teams. In particular, TALIBOBO, I feel like got every single thing that they really want. Like, maybe they want the A9, but they can flex easily. I mean, like, what? Oh, you're just gonna get the U-Town Mew instead.
I mean, Fall locking in the last pick Zacian is something I'm looking forward to seeing. I mean, that was prioritized by TALIBOBO earlier in both previous games.
True.
And now, 00 Nation finally getting to sink their teeth into that Pokemon and leverage the Sacred Sword for themselves to see if it can bring some justice to TALIBOBO and find themselves, guess what, a Game 3 win and into Day 2. But listen, Chef, I've been talking a lot. I'm not even going to let you talk again because I'm bringing in the casters. Kello, Zoinks, walk us through this Game 3 and give us our 8th team.
10 more minutes of Pokemon Unite to decide our final top 8 contender for Day 2, and it's 00 Nation versus TALIBOBO believers. And that's right, it's Zacian on the side of 00 Nation this time.
Look, 2 #1 seeds from their region battling it out, trying to get that top 8. There is so much on the line right now.
Absolutely. I mean, just the money alone, which we haven't talked about too much on broadcast, but that money starts to skyrocket as soon as you make it into that top 8 position. So both of these teams trying to compete for a pretty decent paycheck as well. But of course, these are 2 teams that are playing for their regional pride as well. EU's last hope of making it into the top 8 is TALIBOBO believers, and Brazil's last hope is 00 Nation. It all comes down to this, Kello. The final game of day #1, the final day of group stage.
Oh my gosh, it has been a longer run today, but it isn't over. But we do have that Leafeon going and taking that central area, making sure to try and get that level 4 ASAP. And it looks like it's going in for an early engage up in that top half there, or possibly going in for an invade and cutting off this Hoopa.
Yeah, not a bad play. Just grabbing the red buff is enough for your level 4 evolution. Mazo just wants that slowing red buff. Solar Blade gonna miss tune just barely there as they're able to defend the goal zone against 3 members of 00 Nation.
Yes, 3 members of 00 Nation are up here, but you know what? That Lapras, it is quite tanky, so it can sustain them a fair bit. But we do have that Eevee that hasn't evolved yet, along with the Phantom, just making sure to farm on up earlier on.
Yeah, that Electro Ball not doing too much damage. Soto had hit that Trevenant passive, so going underneath that little area of their HP, increasing their defense and attack damage, of course. There we go, 0-0 getting a really good trade in the top path, though. Having Zacian there means they're going to have a great team fight early, and they get a lot of experience in that situation. TALIBOBO believers playing a little bit from the back foot, and that was something that happened in Draft Kello. The Urshifu over the Zacian pick.
Yes, the Urshifu over the Zacian pick, but we do have a Woodhammer miss there. Wasn't able to catch them on out. But you know what? 0-0. 0-0, obviously 00 Nation, they must be manifesting something here, but there are no stacks right now.
Yeah, nothing at all. Yeah, we're looking at donuts on either side for score lines, which means that this is going to be a pretty low damaging early game. A lot of damage goes in. Alolan Ninetales not able to close out any of those knockouts. Wolf really wanting that to go a different direction, obviously. Because now we've hit that 8-minute mark. Those middle Swablu and Altarians have spawned in. And of course, Zacian doing so much damage to them. Klaus can't even really get too close. Otherwise, they're going to risk getting knocked out. They have hit 7, though, which is an important break point on Urshifu in the early game.
Oh, definitely a very important breakthrough here, but we do have a Solar Blade that was trying to attempt to chip away at that Lapras. I must say, it's aggressive, but it's passive. I'm not really sure what's going on in this early game right now.
Any kind of strafing attack definitely is one that you're going to have to move back and forth with, so I guess you could call it a bit passive. But the Solar Beam gets teed up by a great mean look from Megu. It's not enough to find the KO. Boosted auto attack going to go towards that DD instead, so not going to find Wolf on that Alolan Ninetales, but a great little positioning Woodhammer by Sautao to push the wild Pokemon towards their side, making it easier for Wolf to pick up the knockouts and earn that experience. experience.
Yes, and these are the skills that these players have. They have been playing this game for a while, and it is really starting to shine. But Regirock has spawned on up. We do have Mew and Hooper chipping away at it as 3 members of 0-0 Nation are hiding in this tall grass. Umbreon ends up getting caught out by that Woodhammer now, and it ends up being the Trevenant that secures it for 0-0 Nation, and they also get 3 KOs.
Salto with just such an amazing play there. Also going to come away with a KO streak of 2 as well, and that's a goal zone break from 0-0 Nation. And look at the bottom of your screen, Mazo already popping off, telling the team that this is their chance. They are now leading against TALIBOBO Believers 94-0, and a great little play by Fel there to eject button across the wall and escape getting knocked out. Of course, they weren't a part of that basement Reggie fight because they were leveling up, getting stronger here in the top path.
Well, you know what? They have leveled up. They have that level 9. They have that Unite move on hand. It's just a matter of charging it up and letting it loose at the great time. But Urshifu popping its Unite move out. A9 is down for the count right now.
Oh, wow, but Mazo's able to trade the other way. Klaus is down. Mazo landing every single Solar Blade in this scenario. The Solar Beam does so much damage to Lel, but they're able to escape with their own soft-boiled healing. Amazing rotation from them. Found caught in this feed look, but no one there to really capitalize on the damage. The Solar Beam goes wide from Utah, and it looks like we're going to have a bit of a refight after all of the cards hit the ground.
Yes, we do have Leafeon and Urshifu making sure to just farm on up, get those buffs, get those Unite moves happening. But for members of TALIBOBO Believers, they are waiting on pad and waiting for the perfect moment to possibly get a pick here.
Yet again, a mean look lands, but on the defender, Salto not too worried about being caught in that position. There we go. Lel actually finds a KO onto Megu, taking that out of that fight, but Utah starts to heat up as they find a KO onto Wolf. However, the rotation from Utah is dropping all the way into the enemy. Electro Ball and Toon Slim combined for a KO as they find 2, and TALIBOBO Believers is starting to pick up momentum here in the top half.
Yes, this is the momentum that they need. A 3 KO streak from TALIBOBO Believers. The Mew is playing spectacularly right now.
No way did 0-0 Nation just pull this team fight back. They defended that goal zone through thick and thin. Very good staggered defenses coming off of that respawn 1 by 1, but shutting down that scoring attempt. And still, Regieleki has not been knocked out, and a basement Reggie has joined the fray yet again.
Yes, they have just wasted so much time here, just brawling on out. Another Urshifu Unite move to go and take down that wall of Ninetales.
A great call out here, and this time the damage isn't there to swing the other direction. That being said, Fel is actually going to expend the Unite move to secure the Regirock, a very big source of experience going toward the side of 0-0 Nation. However, TALIBOBO Believers, with that last team fight we saw just a minute ago, have earned themselves a whole lot as well. A couple of level 11s, and I'm sure Klaus is knocking on the door of level 12.
Ooh, they are definitely knocking on that door, but you know what? We still have a Hooper and an Umbreon that is sitting at that level 9. Hooper thankfully still has its Unite move. It's just a matter of waiting for that right moment to use it.
Yeah, we probably have one more big team fight expending Unite moves before the final stretch. I'm looking forward to seeing that around the top path, especially because TALIBOBO Believers has been looking okay, but scoring has not been their department at all, sitting at only 12 points at the 3-minute mark. That is a tough position to be in. Maker takes a whole lot of damage early. The Egg Bomb almost pushes them out of that reset, but they do find the portal from Zervis in perfect timing. Zervis drops the Unite move in a very defensive portal all the way back at their goal zone, and instead are finally going to try to throw all their damage resources towards knocking out this Regieleki.
I feel like this Regieleki has just been leashed time and time again. Finally, it has been captured from the side of TALIBOBO Believers. But hello, Leafeon getting in a sneaky 50 dunk in that bottom tier 2 pad.
Unbelievable. And even despite a split push, 0-0 Nation still putting up a great defense. Amazing play by Salto on this Trevenant. Both a Woodhammer stun and a Horn Leech to push them the other direction. However, Toon Slim's great Perish Song is going to shut that down. And with Regieleki landing into this goal zone, they're going to be able to muster up a 30-point overdunk here. And now TALIBOBO Believers is on the scoreboard.
They are on the scoreboard, but they are still slightly behind. 122 to 174. 0-0 Nation, they are in the lead, and you can definitely tell that the crowd is heating up for these two teams.
I mean, honestly, it's crazy to see this crowd. I wish you were all here in person because the split between these two teams is electric. We got fans of Tally, we've got fans of 0-0, and it's all going to come down to this final stretch. Only a 52-point difference between these two squads as we head into this double scoring part of the game. A full host of Unite moves for both these teams if they can farm them up quickly enough. However, a few Pokemon not going to have them. Umbreon, notably, from Megu, not going to have their Unite move in pocket yet.
Look, Umbreon doesn't have it. Hooper doesn't have it. We do have Mew that just ticked on over, but we have the Trevenant on the side of 0-0 Nation that still is waiting for it to tick on over.
It's going to be a tough spot. We have 0-0 Nation playing very defensively around that bottom tier goal zone. They want that place to retreat to, but more importantly, they don't want Tally to think that they can split push and find an easy score. A Toon trying to start something in that top path finds a bit of an engagement. However, we still have this great defense from 0-0 as Klaus is pushing towards the top path.
Zoinks! Look at the score! 174 to 174! It's even right now, and this is just showing the caliber of these teams.
TALIBOBO believers able to tie things up with only a minute left. A full tie in this matchup. 174 to 174. We have a good early poke damage from Utah. However, 0-0 Nation able to outlast it. And now Rayquaza is starting to be the attention. They have the Zacian secure on the side of 0-0. They have the Blitz assistance. All resources are going towards the objective. And 0-0 Nation is going to secure the Rayquaza.
And they're going to secure the Rayquaza, but are they going to be able to get these dunks? The A90 is being caught out by the mean look right now. Zacian going in and getting a KO on that Leafeon. We have them running towards Mew being chased down by this Zacian right now. It doesn't have those scoring shields, just trying to survive for their life. Can they kite? Can they make it out? Utah is just wasting so much time right now.
They need to keep running. But a Hunger Push going from well into the top path. Blitzy was able to score around Toon's Lapras play. They were able to defend that goal zone for so long. And there we go. Solto able to throw in another Hundo Burger. Brazil is now up by over 200 points and only 10 seconds remain. TALIBOBO believers, the favorites for the World Championship title, have just been knocked out of the tournament by 0-0 Nation.
Game, set, match, 0-0 Nation. They have reached the end. They are over today, and we can hear the crowd going wild.
What a way to end day number one, Kello. An amazing game, but of course, there's a whole lot that goes into that matchup, and we need to hear what the analysts had to say about it. Dupe Snacks, Wonder Chef, close us out.
Jab! 171-4, 174, and then all of a sudden it's like both teams looked at each other on the racing line and said, gas pedal time, Fast and Furious 10 happening here in Yokohama, Japan. Stepped on the gas, 0-0 Nation ekes it out.
What else can you do? This was the match of the day. This was the one that everybody was waiting for. You get to game 3, you get to time score in 2 minutes. What can you do but go all out? And 0-0 Nation taking out what may have been many players' favorites to win Worlds this year, no longer making it even out of groups.
I mean, you take a look at all of the teams that have qualified for day 2. Tons of surprises in there, tons of heartbreak out of a lot of top teams from a lot of regions. And, I mean, 0-0 Nation, they were a #1 seed of their region, and I don't know if you saw the stat, but their average placed finish was like 1.16 or 1.6 throughout the entire year. I mean, this team wins and knows how to win. No strangers about it. And we're taking out our big group stage here. You can see the pips in yellow. Break some of those down for us of who's going into day 2.
All right, we've got Peru, Orangutan, 0-0 Nation, Okchil, MJK, Omo Abyssinian, Luminosity, and Oyasumi Makuro. We've got, I believe, 6 different regions qualifying. Maybe it was just the 5. It's around that. I'm sorry, I got the number, but you can see it right here. So many different regions, and how are they going to play out tomorrow? Who is facing who as we get to see our finals bracket for day number 2?
day number 2 bracket. Throw it on the screen so we can talk about it. Peru, Oyasumi, Makaro squaring up. Akjil, MJK, Orangutan against LG, Luminosity, of course. And the team you just won, Dispatch, TALIBOBO Believers, 0-0 Nation squaring off against Omo Abyssinian.
Wow, like 0-0 Nation didn't have a tough enough path. That's their first match, but every one of those matches,
a tough match.
Yeah.
Every single one's a tough match.
Literally, how does it get better than that? But that's it. We've decided our top